Okay, we're going to show you how to multiply two fractions. Okay, so first if you write two fractions, you can write 3/4 times 2/3. Okay, now before we show you how to multiply the fractions, I'm reminding you that the top number of a fraction is called a numerator. So in that first fraction, which is 3/4, the numerator is 3. The bottom number of the fraction is called a denominator. So in the fraction which is 3/4, the denominator is 4. So multiplying a fraction is actually very easy. All you have to do is multiply the two numerators. So here it's 3 times 2, which is 6. Then you write the line underneath the 6, or you can write the line before you put the number in, and then you just multiply the two numbers underneath. 4 times 3 is 12. Then, so now you got 6/12. So if you can simplify that number, then you put it in its simplest form. So you could divide both of these numbers by 6, so you get 1/2. So it's half. So 3/4 times 2/3, or you could say 3/4 of 2/3, or you could say 2/3 of 3/4, is a half. Or 3/4 multiplied by 2/3 gives you a half. Okay, we're going to give you another example using a slightly easier fraction. So let's do 1/4 times 1/2. Okay, so this is much easier. 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 2 is 8. And this is the simplest you can get. You can't simplify it any further, so that's the answer. Is 1/4 of a half, or half of a quarter, is 1/8. We're going to do one more, as more difficult example. Okay, so let's do 7/22 times 1/16 equals 7 times 1 is 1, and a slightly harder sum, 22 times 16 is 352. Wow. We'll do it one more, just a little bit harder, because so far it's quite straightforward. Just before we go to the next example though, can we simplify 7/352 any further? No, we can't. How do we know that? Because the top number is an odd number and the bottom number is an even number. So both of these numbers are not likely to appear in the same times table. So for example, 7 is a prime number. It can only be divided by 7, and you can't divide 352 by 7, so you can't simplify that fraction anymore. So 7/352 is the simplest form you can get. So that's the answer. 7 won't divide by any even number, and 352 won't divide by 7. So you can't simplify it. Okay, so you just need to check, can it be simplified? And if you can, then you simplify it. So the next one, let's use, let's say 6/12 multiplied by 3/5, 3/5. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18, and 12 times 5 is 60. Now can you simplify that? Yes, you can. So what numbers would go into both of those? 6 will go into 18, how many times? 3 times. And 6 will go into 60, 10 times. So you get 3/10. Can that be simplified anymore? You can't, because 3 is odd and 10 is even. Thank you very much. That's how easy it is to multiply fractions.